the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome, folks, to the Prison City Podcast. I am your official host, Patrick W. Cutler, and we have a banging show here for you tonight. This is our Thanksgiving special. I'll take a brief second here as we get going to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving this week. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of food out there for everybody, plenty to go around, especially the fucking pussy me and Feldy are going to be eating, right, Feldy? Come on, Feldy, right?
Yeah, that's right. We'll see.
So we got special guest Feldy's back for a show here tonight. We have a competition going. Who can get laid first before Thanksgiving? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into... we actually have a number one fan from last week for Prison City Podcast. It's kind of interesting. I'll show you that. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial wrap up. I want to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse and the trial wrap, the reaction to that, and kind of throw it around. Some more metaverse stuff. Just some interesting point of views I've kind of accumulated over the last couple of days. It's been almost a week since I got the Oculus Quest 2. Been playing around on that, so I wanted to talk about how that's going. And then we got Thanksgiving things coming on and improv show, a bunch of shit. So next up, Matt, welcome to the show tonight. How you feeling?
Oh, hey, Pat. It's great to be here tonight. After a week off. Well, last week I was intended on being in the show, but the roads were like some of the iciest I've ever seen in Montana, and it was fucking crazy. You know what? I was sitting there for an hour. I should have loaded up the podcast and did it with you guys. But yeah, so that's the reason of my absence last week. I should go back and watch it. And yeah, so I thought it was cool that you said Jace was going to be on the show tonight, but I thought you meant Jace Jewell. So when Jace Feldy came around, I was a little disappointed.
And Kelly, you're coming here straight from the Broken Arrow here tonight, right? You are.
Yeah, I'm on machine number 12 with the Broken Arrow. I'm just going to keep gambling away while we do the podcast. And I don't know what episode this is of the Prison City Podcast, but it's a landmark, I'm sure, because it's that episode. And Jace, we started the show with talking about eating pussy, and you were kind of like, yeah, I guess so. I hope you have more confidence when you actually do it, bud. Hope you have more confidence.
Thanks.
I think he was more excited about bragging. Before the show started, he asked if he could eat dick instead, and I was like, "Well, whatever you want to do."
Well, there's 4 of them here, or 5, I guess.
Do what I got to do to get that W.
Let's lose all of our audience in the first 20 seconds, you cunts.
I know, jeez. I had a little lady that commented a while back, like after the 4th F word or whatever, within the first 2 minutes, I tuned out. I was like, okay. And we have straight from the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, Mahomes is joining us. How are things down there in Nebraska?
Going really, really well so far. We were able to get a turkey. I know that was kind of the big thing. Everyone was worried about a turkey shortage, but seemed to be plenty at our local Safeway down here. So that's great. Gonna have
did you
some
get
time.
One?
It's big enough. It's just gonna be, my wife and kids. So I'm a little too far away to have Thanksgiving with any of my family, that's fine. That plenty to give thanks about. And I do, I think what a wholesome way to start our show, our Thanksgiving family show, where we just talk about just terrible things right away. And I think that's going to really set the tone. So I'm excited. I don't even know if I'm talking to our real host or if this is just a metaverse version of our host. So that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, if you need extra people to come over, I know Scott Frost probably is looking for a place to go this Thanksgiving.
I heard his family doesn't even want to be around him. They're afraid he's going to fumble the carving station.
Well, Scott Frost, head coach of Nebraska, this is supposed to be his season where he finally comes out and said, "Hey, this is what Nebraska football is all about." And instead, he's having the worst season he's ever had at Nebraska. So a lot of close losses, especially to Wisconsin this weekend. What are you going to say there, Matt?
I was going to say, who won't be around this Christmas?
Does this
I didn't
name
say
also start with an S.
That's what I thought he was talking about.
Oh, I was just.
So far, this is off. I don't even know how many minutes we're in, but this is already a tough start.
Yeah, I was going to wait to say that for later in the show, but I guess we want to get into cancer right off the bat. No.
Hey,
I didn't say anything.
Mahoney, this episode has already broken the record, and it doesn't come out till tomorrow night.
We did improv last night in Helena for our Dosford Improv Comedy Group, and this is fucking crazy. You won't believe this shit. So, as you know, improv, you ask audience suggestions for different things, and there's one called 4-Man Switcheroo, and basically it's a 2-man game where you switch parts, and I had to ask for a suggestion. The 2-man game at that point was me and Matt, and real improv, you just go out there and ask for the first thing that comes to your head, like a category, like a subject, like what's your favorite car, all that stuff. And I was like, I just said, I don't know. I was like, all I could think of was like, give me the name of your best friend. What is the name of your best friend? So I was like, Scott. So I was like, yeah. And I just paused, like, no, I'm not going to go there. Then actually, yeah, I met the entire skit about him.
I was going to say, yeah.
Fill the audience in on what we're talking about.
Okay. So recently, unfortunately, back in June, one of our longtime theater people here, I'll pull up his frame right here. He'd been in plays and theater with us since the beginning of time, almost since we first started Cutler Brothers Productions. Here he is in one of our movies named Scott Grazier. And he was at Prison Pizza here in Deer Lodge, Montana, small little town, small little pizza place. And he came in and kind of fallen all over. And they had to sit him down on a chair when I was working. And basically, he had to be hauled off in a stretcher and all this stuff. And they found out that he had cancer and he only had a couple months to live. So those couple months basically came up this past, actually literally yesterday, he passed away in like a nursing home hospice type situation. So he really just passed away. He's done a lot of theater with us. We first opened our theater stuff back in 2004 or 2003, somewhere in there at the old Montana State Prison Theater. That's called the Good Part Theater inside the old Montana State Prison. He was the first one to the show. And so we were dedicating this podcast episode to his memory. Scott Grazier. I was gonna say this for later because we could go on for a while, but what do you have to say, Matt?
Yeah, like I said, in a weird way, Scott was a friend to a lot of us, even though older and kind of kept to himself, whatever, but he was part of our theater family. So I was talking to Kaya today, and I said, it was crazy to not have, now you're not going to have that one for sure reservation on opening night. So it's kind of surreal in a way like that, but I guess, as you get older, people die, and that's just kind of, it is what it is,
Yeah,
it sucks, but
Scott, he's clearly autistic and things of that nature, but he was for any play production in the town of Deer Lodge, and there's been a lot of play productions the last 20 years, he would be at the opening night of any play production ever, like the past 20 years. So he was there always, and he'd come multiple times and everything. Phil, to you, and what do you have to say about Scott?
I never really got to know Scott. I guess I got to know him about 40 times because every time I ran into him, he always had to introduce himself. He never ever remembered who I was. But
yeah.
I did admire his loyalty to you guys, and it is kind of a shitty situation.
And then Mahomes, what do you think about the recent?
It's one of those. That's one of those things that hit me harder than I expected. Honestly, it's just kind of, it reminds you of how fragile life is, and it's because you kind of took for granted. Like you said, he was at every one of our shows. He was always supportive. Then he started doing shows and super supportive. So, sorry, I just had a random call come in there, but that's so yeah, it's weird. It's always something that was kind of an annual rite of passage. When I made my annual trip home, Scott would be there. He always would know what time I was getting in and what house I was going to show up to. So
did you meet up with him last time, or did he just see at the show, or what?
No, he showed up. I remember we were having that like barbecue in the backyard, and he showed up towards the end.
Oh yeah. No, he did towards the end. Now I remember. Yeah, he did show up at the end. Yeah, that's right. Barbecue.
So it's weird. I mean, he's really been a part of Deer Lodge, and he was a huge supporter, and he liked me for whatever reason. He always liked the stuff I did. So even when I didn't think I had a good show, I always had someone out there telling me I did. So I appreciated Scott.
He was a pretty honest guy. He actually once told me I had a terrible show because I missed one line. So gotta appreciate the honesty with him there. Yeah. Kelly, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it's just really fucking weird because we all did Scott impersonations, and I don't want to say we made fun of him, but Scott was a very unique person. So like he was fun to impersonate, and he did weird things and stuff. And like Mark said, you kind of just take it for granted, and then all of a sudden, almost instantaneously, like that's over. It's like, geez, man, you're never gonna get that random knock on the door, the random, him coming into the theater and trying to shake your hand and all this shit. And it's just really fucking weird how to us it was a small thing, but now that that's gone, now it's like that was a really fucking big thing. He was a big person with our development and everything with the theater. Like Pat said, he's been with us ever since the start. We were counting last night how many shows he's been in, and without comedy nights, I think we named over 15 shows that he was in with us. And that doesn't count comedy nights or movies. So he was definitely an integral part of this entire thing. And he really wasn't bad. I mean, he was an entertaining guy, for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, he was actually in the movie that made the most success for us. This point is the Cottonwood City Project, which premiered in Hollywood, making fun of Deer Lodge and stuff. He was actually had a decent sized role in that movie. We just put him in front of a camera and Kelly and asked him weird questions. Kelly would, and then he would just play himself. And we did his entire play the first time. So Scott was big into writing these plays about these Western towns, the Bellson brothers and stuff like that. And he was dead serious about it. So we put his play together as part of our comedy show. We actually performed his play as part of the movie. So that was really interesting. And then that screen in LA. So of all people, all these actors we've met through all the years who have never hardly done anything on, in film or anything or been anywhere. Scott Grazier can say, he was actually in a film that was screened in Hollywood. He made it to Hollywood before a lot of people did that talked about it.
I would say, if there's a way to do it, Matt was doing the Thursday throwbacks of Cutler Brothers. It'd be cool to do like next week or the week after a week of Scott Grazier and just release like a 2-minute clip Monday through Friday, because there's so much they did. And I think he's the first person to pass away in Cutler Brothers history that like he's had the most significance. He's done the most with us to pass away. We've had other people, but he's by far done the most thus far, which is crazy to me.
So I'll tell you a story, Mahomes, and I was telling the story yesterday about some of his final days. So his the backstory of people who are like super autistic and stuff, they have something set in their mind and they have to do it no matter what, whether it be Grazier or some other buddy I have, and there's no convincing them otherwise. What happened was he was cancer was around his spine, and what happened was he was starting to just fall down randomly, and he couldn't get up or anything, and he'd get back up and he'd fall down again. So the day that he went to the hospital, this is a crazy fucking story. He fell down. The neighbor said he fell down 5 times that morning. He got up, drove to Prison Pizza to get a pizza. And I walked in, he was just on this chair, and they set him up in this chair because he couldn't walk or anything. And then he tried to order a milkshake and everything else. And then the cops showed up and they got an ambulance and eventually hauled him away or whatever. But he drove. In the second he got to Prison Pizza and sat down, he never fucking walked again. The idea how he drove to Prison Pizza when his legs are pretty much paralyzed is beyond belief to me. It's like, how the fuck did he get there? Like, but he wanted to go to Prison Pizza so bad because his mind was just said, I'm going to Prison Pizza to get a chocolate milkshake. Is that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, it's a miracle he didn't hurt anybody while he was driving too. Yeah.
That's what the cop was saying. It's like, if you can't walk, yeah, it was bad, but he never walked another day after he sat down in Prison Pizza. It's just wild to think about.
Did he ever complain of anything in the last like 6-7 months?
No. A lot of times with cancer, I would say that like you don't necessarily have symptoms. And at the very last second, I've had this story with a lot of people. They'll go through like a regular medical check or something will go wrong, and they'll go in and they'll be like, okay, cancer is all over your fucking body.
Jesus.
Yeah, it wasn't just on his spine. It was like spread like everywhere. It was inoperable and spinal. It was like everywhere in his body. So unfortunately, there was really nothing they could do for him. There's a guy up in Alaska. He's a chef over. He smoked off and on all the stuff, and he's perfectly healthy. Went in to see the doctor one day because he had a slight cough or something, and he's like, "There's cancer all over your lungs and everywhere." A week later, he's dead.
Yeah, crazy shit.
That's why they always say go get those checkups all the time. Cancer's fucking weird like that. But yeah, it happened. He started falling down like for a couple of days, and it just didn't seem like that was a big of a deal. And then, yeah, a couple days later, it's like, oh yeah, you have cancer over your entire spine and everything. So,
Well, in dedication to Scott, I like what Matt said. Maybe all of us could tell a quick, 30-second, 1-minute story or something, just whatever comes to mind, because he had so many fucking stories. I don't know
yeah,
if Matt wants to start.
Matt, you want to start off a story?
Yeah. I was gonna tell a funny story, and if no one says that, or if no one tells it, I'll tell it after we're done. But I'm not gonna tell it right now unless Kelly has it on his mind. But I would just say, so he would play his organ. He had like 3 different organs, big pipe organs. He'd play them all the time, and he was very good. And most of the time, we do a show like funny thing happened on the way to the forum, or something like Oliver, or something along those lines. Then, years down the road, I'd film him playing his organ, and he'd send copies to Mark Mahoney and other people, and who knows, he made like 20 copies, so I don't know who he was sending them to. Anyway, most of these songs, though, as I noticed, is he would not play with music. So one day I asked him, I said, well, how are you playing this stuff without any music? He's like, well, I just basically listen to this song and play it by ear. And I was like, man, that's kind of crazy, because some of that shit is spot on, which is insane. So they said he had a very special talent in that way. And, I think his brain worked like that, where, in a weird way, some ways it's very brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. It was strong enough to take paralyzed legs and get in a vehicle and drive to prison pieces. So, yeah, he definitely had a special brain there. Hey, Feldy, what do you got for a story? Do you have any stories besides meeting him 500 times?
Yeah, that's just that was my big thing with Scott. Every time I saw him, I was like, is he gonna remember me this time or is he not? And every once in a while he would remember me, but for the most part, it was just a fun game for me to.
It's like, oh, hi, Jim Tilley.
But yeah. But he was always the nicest. Every time he introduced himself to me, he was always super nice.
Kelly.
Well, there's so many stories about theater and stuff, but I'm just gonna go with the one that jumped into my mind. It was like 5 years ago, and Scott would always just come to our house, and like, if you heard the doorbell or a knock, you could almost guarantee it was him or one other person. But Scott, it was like this time of year, so it was dark early like this in Montana, 5 o'clock or whatever. And I had gotten in the shower, and it was all dark in the living room. And then I got out of the shower, and I'm just walking out in a towel, just whistling or whatever. And from the dark corner, I just hear, "Oh, hi, Kelly." And I got upset with him. I was like, Scott, I was like, Jesus, I was like, you can't just walk in here, man. The lights are off, and I gotta go. And I started walking into the bedroom, and my towel fell off. Last thing he saw was my ass as I was slamming the door. So now I feel like a dick, but I just thought that was a funny story, just like in the middle of the night. And he's harmless, but I was just more annoyed than anything.
Mahallins, what's your favorite Scott Crazy story?
I mean, there's, like Kelly said, there's a ton. I think I'll just go with a theater story. And it's not like, it's just funny to me that all these years later, after all the shows I've done, like one of the lines that just sticks in my wife's head and in like my family's head is, a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. He had a small but hilarious role in, and like even now, randomly, my wife will just say like, "Second time around," just out of nowhere. So it's one of those lines, and especially the way he like delivered it, and just, if people aren't familiar with the show, like that character is funny, and it happens in like hilarious spots, but just who he is and how he delivered the line, I think, for me, and he had like the Calamity Jane line that was like, talk about a show that was in his wheelhouse, because this guy loved westerns. I mean, he lived for that. But that one, it's still that it lives on to this day. At random family gatherings, someone will just hop around and say that. So
that's funny.
Mahoney, quick segue or rabbit hole from your story. But remember when he missed his because he played this character to come around and say first time around, second time around, third time around. Well, he missed coming on stage once. It was like the second and third time around. We're like, how do we fuck it? We got to fix this, man. You got to go across the stage. So he comes across and goes, second time around. because backstage I say, Scott, you got to go again. Just go. I know it doesn't make sense, but you got to go again. And then just say something like, I took the bus. So 10 seconds later, it comes across stage again. Third time around, I took the bus this time. And it made no fucking sense because it's in Roman times. But we had to fix that problem in the show.
That's funny. My favorite story of Scott is first, he came to one of our first plays, Complete Works of History, Durage Abridged. It was a 3-man show. He seriously came like 10 out of 12 shows, and he was there like almost every day. But like the next year, he tries out for one of our plays, or maybe it was that year he tried out. I can't remember, but it was Calamity Jane, like Mahomes is saying, and all through hers, he's like a different kind of weird guy or whatever, and he draws cartoons about Calamity Jane. And I remember his first little hand drawn cartoons he draws are really cool, just in a pencil. He made fun of how the play Calamity Jane was not accurate at all to the Old West, which is pretty truthful. It's not remotely close to the truth, but anyways, he's just a normal guy, kind of just a little bit different all through rehearsal. Saying this, he says his lines perfectly normal all through rehearsal, just normal, kind of saying his lines. You know, we ain't suckers. You promised us a New York actress, and look what he got. And then we get to I sort of like dress rehearsal, and we're all in there just waiting for him to say his line. Yeah, say your line like you usually say it or whatever. And out of nowhere, he just yells this like as angry and mad as he could possibly be. We're suckers! You gave us a New York actress, and oh my god! And like everybody, including me, Mahomes, I remember just looking at Mahomes like we were laughing so fucking hard. Like to that day, that one line, he was so fucking intense. Like I've never seen that. I've never seen any line in the history of theater. I've never seen anybody do it more intense than that, ever.
Hey, Mahoney, remember when we were all on stage singing the Down by the Bay? Yeah. So we're all making up these perverted little verses before the show starts. And then Grazer comes up and joins the circle. We're like, Scott, go! And he's just like, down by the bay, she had a nice butt. And it just got really weird. And he went. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
I did. I wasn't sure if we were going to tell that story or not, but yes, I'm going to do it. Remember that. That's a very vivid memory I have because I was laughing my ass off.
We're going to segue here to let's go here. We have a #1 Prison City podcast fan from last week. Maybe I'll do this each week if we have people that actually comment stuff. We had somebody that really took to heart our segment on Kyle Rittenhouse last week, and he just went off on the comment section on YouTube. So I'll just pull this up. You guys can check this out here. And this is our #1 fan, DK the Bag. This guy does not like Kyle Rittenhouse at all. In fact, I'm pretty much sure he hates him. So let's see what he had to say. So he has at time marks like 46 minutes and 44 minutes and 50 minutes and 49 minutes in that of all these comments for what he's commenting on exactly with our Kyle Rittenhouse segment last week. So 46 minutes in, he's like, wait, so him 2 weeks before he said he could shot them if he had his gun, didn't tell you his mindset to go there. Come on. He said if I had my gun, I would shoot these are hard to read because you can't right? Very good. Boom. It happens. People say it has not to do with him doing what he said he would. God. Okay, this is probably going to segue into Kyle Rittenhouse eventually. I'll try to make some sense of some of these comments. 44 minutes in. This can also set the precedent that it's okay to go to protest with guns when you are no periods, random words. When you are against the opponent and just wait and hope someone comes after you. And then this guy what do you think of this guy?
Too much time on those hands.
First and foremost, thank you for listening. It's I'm not educated enough on this subject to be going back and forth with somebody, because there's clearly people like Kelly had mentioned, he kind of got sucked in the rabbit hole. So for me, it's just based on kind of what Kelly said, it sounds like it went exactly the way you thought it were going to go after watching the courtroom. So I'll leave it to everybody else, because I'm not as hip with the whole situation. I'm gonna guess that they got it right, but I'll leave it to everybody else and see what.
I was actually more referring to what do you think about this guy commenting here, DK the Bag? You think
I'm just happy we have fans. That's
Yeah, like Mahoney said, apparently he watched every single minute of that video because he's commenting, and it's like, okay, well, thanks for your opinion. It just helps us out, you know. Watching
Yeah.
that shit. I haven't even seen it, so I don't even know what the hell you guys were talking about.
Hey, are you DK the bag?
So DK, what do you think about that, Kelly? DK the bag. That's the most comments we ever had on a video before.
Yeah, I mean, like as we know from the Creep Show, no publicity is bad publicity. So if someone wants to comments and likes and shares up the viewership of what we're doing. So thank you very much, DK the bag. But we're new, we're young, we're in our youthful stages of this Prison City podcast, and one day I want to get to where I'm starting to do it, where Joe Rogan says, he doesn't even read the fucking comments on anything he does. He'll just put out a funny video or something. He doesn't even read it. And I'm trying to be more like that, where it's like, because when you read it, then you start going, should I have said that? Was that funny enough? You start questioning it. It's like, if you're willing to post it, just fucking leave it and not worry about it. So that's what I take from like negative comments. I'm just like, you shouldn't even really divulge or read into that.
And it's hard to understand what they're saying too, because I looked at my comment in there because I thought he was saying like, I hope someone comes after you or something like that. But I think he was referencing on the opposing side. I don't know. His comments, unfortunately, I thought they were more literate. I didn't really read the whole. A lot of them, they're just like garbled together. I can't even understand what he's even like saying in them. But yeah, Feldy, what do you think about that?
I think everybody's got their own opinions about certain things, and I mean, what would be the point of any kind of podcast or movie or anything if everybody agreed on everything? So I think any kind of comment's a good comment, whether it's against or for.
I wish he would have made more sense in his comments, though, is my only thing, is because I couldn't put together what he was trying to say like half the time. It was kind of hard to like,
I missed half of what you were saying because I was trying to comprehend what he was writing. I was reading while you were talking. I
know. Yeah. So, and then next up here, me and Feldy started a competition last week. It's called the Who Can Get Laid First Over Thanksgiving competition. We started last week. Here's the official poster I made for it.
It's funny because when I first saw that, I thought it was Danny Fosness.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, I take that as a compliment. He's a good looking dude. No, it's funny you say that because I didn't think you actually posted it as an ad, and I've gotten 3 messages about it from people.
Dude, no,
so I know it's getting out there.
It's so funny. So this is, I haven't told anybody here on the podcast this, or maybe I did, I don't know. But I actually put this on Instagram, on my Instagram account that I promote Prison City Podcast as. And since nobody was liking it or even like paying attention to it or whatever, I paid like $15 to promote it as an ad to the entire fucking town of Deer Lodge. Every single girl in Deer Lodge.
Yeah,
Jesus.
So that ad right now is going out to the entire fucking town of Deer Lodge. Every single girl.
Well, I don't know if you meant it, but down below it says the 2021 Thanksgiving. It's like, hey, Thang, baby.
Oh yeah.
And I like
It works.
The mountains on the thing make it look like it says PPI son.
Oh yeah.
But pull it back up. Let me see.
Here, let me pull it back up. So this is the UFC poster for McGregor versus Khabib, UFC 267.
Oh.
So I just copied that whole format because I thought I wanted to use like a fight poster.
Pretty hilarious. I remember I saw that pop up on social media and I was like, oh, what are we doing?
Hey, this is where we're at to get people to listen to this podcast.
It works.
No, but
how's it going, Feldy? You put one.
Yeah, what's the tail of the tape, boys?
I like to compete under pressure, so I'm just kind of holding back until last minute. What do we got?
What do you? So I got one update I can tell everybody. Do you have something while I tell my update you can come up with, Feldy?
What is it?
Any story of you trying or anything?
One of the girls that messaged me, I asked her if she was willing to help me out. She said no. So but no, I haven't put a whole lot of effort into it yet.
Yeah.
One trip down to the Montana bar, and I think I'll have it sealed.
Man. So I was there Saturday night thinking about doing that because of the one girl that actually rejected me. So my story is I was talking to Philly at the same time I was doing this on Snapchat. There's this girl I've been talking to for a while. We ended the podcast kind of with this last week, and she lives in Bozeman. I'm going through Bozeman on Thanksgiving Day. So I just messaged her to see if she wanted to hang out or whatever. And just like brief. It's like, I'm coming through town. We were hanging out briefly. And she was nice. She was basically said, oh, no, I'm with family on the other side of town or blah, blah, blah. I didn't really read it, to tell you the truth. I was just like, okay.
You saw no and you quit reading.
I saw no. I was like, all right, cool. Well, you have a good Thanksgiving too. And then what happened next? So then she keeps talking to me and shit. So then I end up telling her, yeah. So yeah. Well, no, she ended up saying, like, one of her next messages is like, yeah, well, I won't be getting any at all this Thanksgiving. I hope you do. It was something like that. So I was like, okay. So I started talking to her. I was like, yeah. So me and my buddy got this bet going, who can get laid first before Thanksgiving, and kind of like joked about it a little bit. And then she started sending me GIFs, because I guess the girls these days like the GIFs or whatever, the GIF game on Snapchat, which is kind of weird. And then I sent one to her that was responding to one that she said on drinking. I sent one on drinking, and she responded, all men are the same. And I was like, what? And she's like, and she went off about how that one GIF, and the GIF is like one of 20 random GIFs I searched drinking on. She's like, whenever I send that GIF I just sent you, a guy always sends that exact same GIF back. All the girl's trying to do is saying cheers. And then I was like, cheers, I'm having a beer. And then I was like so fucking turned. I was like, okay, this conversation's over.
What did you send back?
There's like, if you go on the GIFs or whatever, there's and search like drinking, there's one picture of a girl, some female comedic. I don't want to say it's Amy Schumer, but someone like that might be her. There's this giant fucking glass of like wine or beer or something, and she's like,
it's
I know what you're
Anna.
talking about.
Yeah, it's Anna Faris.
It's Anna
from
Faris.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's her. I know what you're talking about.
I was like, how the fuck? I was like, that was like a random GIF out of like 20 that I just randomly picked. So it's like, why would that be something guys all do? And that makes that every guy is the same, because I was just so confused. I was like, all right, I'm moving on.
Might be one of those on their cell phone all day long, so that pops up a bunch. You know what I'm saying? You're just one of a bunch.
Yeah, and that was one of the ones up towards the front, but I looked at some other ones too. So I don't know. I was so annoyed by her comment. I was like, okay, this is fucking stupid.
Find it.
Here, you want me to pull it up?
You have it.
The Anna Faris one.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Faris drinking. Let me see.
Is it from one of the scary movies, maybe?
I just accidentally sent it to somebody. You sent one to somebody.
Did I just get a message
from that girl?
Is she listening right now?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, what are you eating over there?
I mean, right as I take a bite. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not finding this.
It's all right.
Actually, just a second here.
What are you drinking over there?
Thank you for waiting until I wasn't chewing with a huge mouthful of food. My wife made some homemade pizza.
Oh,
Yep.
Too good to get prison pizza, I see.
Yeah, unless you guys ship it down to Nebraska.
oh.
Was that by
There,
any better?
I just sent something. Is it the one where they're drinking a big bottle of wine?
Yeah, it was a different one. I mean, this one's so commonly used that you can't even fucking find it online.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was wondering how common it was.
Man,
Oh well.
so that's what broke up your future marriage, huh?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, after that, I was just kind of like, this is fucking stupid. I'm going to talk to retarded people like that. So then I fucked her 2 days later. No.
Well, you win then.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, check this. Hey, check. Here's a message I got, though. See if I can get on second base with this one, guys. Check this one out.
What the fuck is this shit?
Some guy during COVID or something didn't like something I said on a chat or something. I don't know. So this guy named Stephen Dempsey, for you audio listeners, his name's Stephen Dempsey. And he messaged me, can you tell me more about yourself? How big is your dick?
Mm.
And then he immediately like made it so I couldn't send him a message. So I was like, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. And he has I got my COVID vaccine. We can do this frame on his Facebook profile. So that guy clearly is a huge American hero. Everybody.
Did you respond to him?
No, I didn't respond to him, but maybe I'll see if he, like me and Philly talked earlier. It doesn't matter if it's a guy or a girl, but maybe I'll respond to him. By the way, Philly, I think that
Jeez.
I think that ad's probably going to run through tomorrow, maybe into Wednesday. So
Okay,
if you're going to be on there looking for pussy for another 48 hours of seeing Philly's face come up your feed.
Why didn't you put my number on there?
Oh, I should put your fucking number. Would you like that? No, you don't want your.
No,
I was like, you don't want your number on there.
No.
Put his address. Put where his bedroom is in his house.
So what do you think of that strategy? Mahomes turned it into an ad and shoved it in front of everyone's faces and
I mean, it's more out there than, the dating apps. Like, it's in everyone's face, not just the people who have the app. So I think it's kind of like shotgun marketing. Just put it everywhere and then see what happens.
Yeah, I was trying to take a lot of the leg work out of it for both me and Phil to make it a little bit easier.
What's the stipulation? This has to happen by the end of Thanksgiving?
Basically, the penis has to penetrate a vagina.
Yeah, by Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, the stipulation Thanksgiving night by midnight Thanksgiving night. So if it's like if you get to Thanksgiving night and you still want to try something, you have till midnight.
Well, I give Feldy a plus 10,000 on this one because he is having Thanksgiving with his family, so it's in the bag.
Jeez. God, dang.
Sorry, Feldy.
Yeah, that stipulation is you can't hit up people you've hit up before. So no going back to the old well. I don't know if Feldy has a well here.
No, I don't.
But yeah, so I mean, I think it's very doable. Do you think anyone's actually going to get laid during this, Mahomes?
No. What's going to happen is it's going to be like Cinderella, and you're going to look up right as you're about to start, and it's going to be 12:01. The best.
And then the skinny chick turns into the fat chick from the Montana bar.
Hey, Feldy, I got a fucking improv show Wednesday night, dude. You're going to be at it. And that improv show, man, coming off stage off of that, Tricky Trot usually has a lot of people at it. So, I mean, there's some possibilities there, dude. There is Wednesday night, man. Me and Feldy, we're going to Montana Wednesday night, and let's just see what happens.
That's too easy. Montana bar.
Hey,
then you better do it if you're talking like that.
Hey, if neither of us get laid, then at the end of the night on Thursday, on Friday, we have to suck each other's cocks.
Hey, I might lose on purpose.
But that is the challenge, folks. We're going to move off of that. Yeah, so stay tuned.
This podcast is totally reaching a new demographic this week.
For sure. Like, what if that was the actual stipulation? Like, what if
I would never have agreed to that.
Well, it sounds like you just did in front of our whole audience.
That was this.
Feldy, you could go to Montana and find some meth crack whore, man.
Can't wait till Dirk, whatever the hell his name is, whatever the guy commenting, what he says about that, Feldy.
Oh, DK'd the bag. He's like,
DK.
Exactly 40 minutes in, Feldy tells a lie. He's going to get fucking laid. I know it. He's like that. DK'd the bag. Yeah. But yeah. So anyways, I'll shoot over to the
I still can't believe that's an ad going out to everyone in town. Like, the longer I think about it, the funnier it is. So ridiculous.
I can't wait for someone to listen to this that wants to hear shit on Kyle Rittenhouse, and they got to sit through this bullshit for 40 minutes.
I thought we touched on Rittenhouse. I thought we were all done.
How's that ad for sex like that even get approved? Like,
I mean,
no shit. My last YouTube video, I said, damn it, and they blocked the fucking thing.
They probably just didn't even think so. They probably just like the filters are like, oh, this is another fight promotion. They didn't even think to look at the actual words.
The funniest thing is, like, Feldy's already said he's seen it multiple times. If you see people from now until Thanksgiving multiple times, you just see that keep popping up over and over and over.
Let's go see.
Feldy just sees some old lady in the grocery store. So how's it going?
Need some help? Where do you stand on the competition, sweetie?
I got a lot of money on you.
I actually cut the age off at like 40, I want to say. So it's honestly 20 to 40.
So there's actual rules behind this shit? Like,
no, I mean, that's the ad.
Oh, I thought you said that's.
No, you can go as old as you want on this one.
Oh, okay. For our viewers out there, whatever.
For our viewers out there, yeah, can you watch the ESPN coverage of this next couple days?
Yeah, Feldy's like, and I'm back in the ball game.
He's like, looks like Feldy's back on Snapchat, folks. Who's he messaging now? Let's see if this is going to get him closer to the goal line.
Wow.
Feldy's trying for an 80-year-old woman. I don't even know if she can get it up anymore.
All right, folks, we'll take you to a live look in now. Patrick Cutler makes the approach. Ooh, that was a little too offensive too early.
Ooh, cops are going to break this one up.
Cops are going to break this one. looks like Feldy might be hauled away in cuffs after sitting outside the elementary school.
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, to be honest, that whole demographic is not Deer Lodge. It's either before that or after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, we're just not joking about that shit. That's the truth.
What demographic are we talking about?
I said 20 to 40. I said Deer Lodge. The demographic, it's either older than that or younger than that.
Oh, most people that live here? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's like us or something.
So far, it's just Feldy and the people on this podcast who have seen the ad. Is that what you're saying?
No, I got 3 messages about it. So at least 3 other people seen it.
You got 3 messages, man. That's better than me.
Well, they weren't offers. They were just messages.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. They weren't inquiring or anything?
No, I only knew one of them good enough to ask.
What were they? What were their responses, or what would they say exactly?
2 of them were like, "So how's the competition?" And then the other one asked me if I knew about it.
I knew about it.
I was like, "Well, yeah, I know about it."
You see some of the shit I post on there, they probably might not think you know about it. I just gotta post one of it. You're like, you know, there's an ad going around trying to get you laid right now.
Feldy's like, yeah, I know about it. Go check out the top 3 highest ranked Prison City podcasts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How did last week's go? Is it up there yet?
Good. Good. Yeah, that it's not exploding like the Mike Lindell. I mean, I guess if we really wanted to get laid, we just sit here and talk about Mike Lindell for 5 straight hours.
Give it time, Feldy.
I gotta keep my shit alive.
Like, you know, I was like, they have this, like, you try to figure out the YouTube algorithm and stuff and what you need to do to get like views and all this stuff. And you're like, stay with what works. It's like, well, the one thing that worked was Mike Lindell talking about a symposium of election fraud evidence he didn't have.
Well, yes.
That's what worked.
It's just making up numbers. I have 48 teraflops. That's not even a thing. Just putting words together.
Teraflops.
Sounds legit.
I think the girl that Feldy's going to hook up with is going to have 48 teraflops.
I hope so.
Thank God.
So.
He'd be the winner then.
Yeah, 48 times over.
Oh, shit.
Okay, next.
God, we should have taken Feldy to the Montana bar on Saturday, Cuts. Introduced him to Tara.
What is the bet? Like, is just the winner takes all, but what's the bet? Is there money on the line? Or
I have no idea.
No, there's no actual money on the line.
I didn't even like agree to this. I just got pulled into it.
We were just joking about that in the last episode. Then I put it in writing and put an ad up for it.
I heard the winner gets a $1 any size drink at McDonald's.
At least you get something. I'll take it.
That's like
Oh shit.
the annual Thanksgiving competition.
Some families play backyard football.
That could be an annual Thanksgiving. We're gonna take two single guys in the prison podcast and be like, okay, you versus you, who can get laid first? Here's the rules of the game.
There are no rules.
There are no rules. A lot of people don't understand. We're in Deer Lodge. It's not as easy as it sounds.
It's not that hard, actually.
Well, okay.
If you don't have standards.
If you have standards, yeah. With no standards, it's easy. But if you have any kind of standards, it's not that easy.
Yeah. Well, what?
So how badly do you want to win, Feldy?
All I hear is
Honestly,
excuses for losing already.
My will to win isn't really that high.
My thing is, we're talking about this, like, because you get to a lot of people, like girls in Deer Lodge, whatever. Not everybody, but a lot will be like attached to you if you like, not just Deer Lodge, but anywhere, you know. So I'm thinking, like, what if, you know, I pull, one of us pulled this off, and then, you know, and they start messaging the next day. Do you think, how do you think they react and start messaging the next day? You're like, yeah, well, this is just part of a competition to see if I can get laid before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So we're
Yeah,
good.
that wouldn't go well.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good pickup line. Like if I was involved in this, yeah, just go to the bar, find someone, just say, hey, look, I'm in this competition. I know it sounds like bullshit. Show them the Facebook ad. You want to help me out?
It's an actual ad. You should have put a prize.
It's like a
on the bottom.
coupon.
You should have put a
Go step
$5,000 prize.
Hey, you want to step into the bathroom?
Gosh,
Make this classy.
I should have got a $10,000 prize. I bet if you put $10,000, she'd be like, hey, you want to split it with me? Fuck, then it would have been really effective.
Yeah, who's gonna
Yeah,
pay
but then
it?
I'm going to say no.
I mean, that's essentially prostitution is what this is turned into.
Like, who at Instagram reviewed that ad and said, okay, go ahead.
I know. They probably didn't even look at it.
Did you even look at it? It's like, let me put up a sex ad on Instagram. Like, let's pull this ad up one more time. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even in between the lines. It's literally saying who can get laid first. This is a challenge. Like,
The guy that approved it has money on it. It was weird because I was trying to bet on Bovada today. I was looking at Monday Night Football, and right below that, it was Pat and Feldy's sex competition.
And what did you say the line is at?
It was plus 10,000 for Feldy, but I can't remember the stipulation on that one.
And what's the over under?
60 pounds.
You know what? This is me trying to act like how this got passed. Maybe they think by laid they mean who gets laid out first, like who gets knocked out.
Who gets laid first? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I can see that. That's how it should end. If this is an annual thing, if neither of them get laid, it should end in a drag out fight, and that's the winner.
Let's see, Feldy, what the fuck picture is that of you?
I have no idea.
oh, that's your profile picture, actually.
Oh no, I know what that's from, Feldy. That's when you were Danny Fosnes.
Oh, geez.
Pat, your best movie post you did was the wedding or the graduation crashers.
Oh.
You and Tilly. Oh,
Yeah,
that
can
was
you pull that one up, Pat?
funny as shit.
Gotta pull that one up.
Got that one in?
I don't know.
Another fucking situation.
I
Oh
like
my
how-
god.
Pat takes the early cheap shot. Pat looks all good in that picture. Feldy looks like someone just farted on his pillow.
On his my pillow.
There, new ratings. My pillow, Mike Lindell.
He should be our special guest one of these days. Like, you're the highest rated podcast. We just want to have you on and just talk about. So this is kind of going down the road. So me and Tilly, in our, I was 36 at the time, not sure how old he was. We went to the 2020 senior keg.
Pushing 40 and not like going to drop people off, like going to hang out.
Well, we were dropping people off there and hanging out.
Unbelievable.
Oh, a couple days later, I put together this meme kind of making fun of the whole thing about how since we kind of crashed the senior keg that year, we were going to go out.
Not kind of. I mean, you're double their age. It's so. Could you imagine if you were in high school and some like nearly 40-year-old person showed up to your senior keg and then like hung out, didn't go anywhere?
Yeah. I saw a video. Tilly was putting a plant on his head, and the kid hit him right in the nuts.
Tilly had his Letterman's jacket on.
Yeah. I don't want your laugh.
It was funny watching Tilly up there because he was just like hanging out like normal Tilly. Like he wasn't even like, oh yeah.
I wasn't even aware of the like social stigma that he was walking into.
He's like, oh yeah, I'll play some beer pong. Yeah.
I heard the police showed up, and Tilly's like, cops.
It's not my beer.
So here's the poster, the meme I made about this is a meme posted in a private Facebook group we have, and this is just about me and Tilly making fun of it, kind of like we're going to the graduation parties to crash them. Here you go.
90 seniors.
This Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, officer, I don't know how these cigarettes got in my pocket.
You're okay. You're 41.
Okay, you're 41. God. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the brief segment on the getting laid competition in Durlach. So should I start doing radio ads starting tomorrow?
Jesus Christ, no, please don't.
Radio. I would love to hear that on 97.7. Karen Sullivan. Here at the Connor Brothers, Pat versus Feldy.
I think, yeah.
Could you imagine, Jace? Could you imagine if you're just driving and like down, pop right down the road, and then just next commercial, a battle of two men, hungry for success.
I'm getting all into it. Oh, what's this about? This sounds good.
Who's gonna stuff that turkey this Thanksgiving?
Okay, got a little bit weird, but okay.
God, you guys are giving me ideas now I want to put out there.
Oh, Jesus.
I always wonder, like, just the random people sitting back, like the 60, 70-year-old people that are on Facebook, and they just, they're following their friends and they see an ad for that. They probably don't get it either. They probably think it's just a fight. Oh, they're doing fights at the Cutler Brothers Theater now, huh?
Oh, that's cool. Not my thing, but
if you've said 5 seconds ago, I mean, basically got a sex ad approved for Instagram. Because I didn't put on Facebook. The ad's not on Facebook, it's just on Instagram. And it's like I basically got a sex ad approved for Instagram.
I mean, the more I look at it, the more I can be like, yeah, that's someone's gonna get laid out. It's just there it is.
Do people like that, or like, can you tell if there's?
No, nobody's liked it.
But can they? I mean, I don't know how Instagram works.
I mean, yeah, they can like it actually.
Nobody's like it.
No one likes this.
I got when I first posted, I got like, okay, I have a podcasting buddy that likes everything I post. Pretty much, I like a lot of his stuff too, and he liked it when I posted it. And beyond that, any people that I actually personally know, no one is like this. And I promoted this. It's going to hit over 1,000 people by Wednesday morning.
Jesus.
Where'd you get that Feldy picture? That he looks drunk as fuck.
Why did you pick red for his eye color and you got the Warden's colors for yours?
If you Google UFC 267 poster, I tried to mimic that exactly. So Feldy it's supposed to be Khabib's home flag or whatever, Russia, the colors. Hold on, let me match this up here really quick. But
What picture is that of Feldy though? What's that from?
it's literally. I'll show you.
It's your what, Feldy? Speak, young man.
My Facebook one, I think.
You're-
Yeah, it's my Facebook profile picture.
Let me pull up.
Dude, why does Feldy sound like he's in a glass box talking to us?
Can you hear me?
He's in the metaverse.
He's got his haptic glove on right now.
Feldy's actually got a baby dinosaur in his hand. It's not even a video game anymore. He's just petting it.
His camera.
Feldy, you okay with all this? You seem a little uncomfortable tonight.
Well, I didn't agree, but it's something I just gotta go with.
You know what? You're being a much better sport than I think I would be if I just found out this was going to get pushed out to 1,000 people in the town I live in. So, you're a good sport.
Well, I'm not worried about it. There's people in this town.
Hey, look at this.
Mark.
Here's the actual UFC poster here, really quick.
Okay.
So that's
nice.
So that's where it kind of like
Yeah, that
goes up. His kind of it's a mix between McGregor or whatever.
So instead of the Ireland eye, Feldy got pink eye.
Hey, Mark, I was going to say, what if, Father Porter's scrolling through Facebook? He's all over that. Oh!
He's just like, oh, what is this? What do we got here?
Somebody's going to get laid, huh? I wonder. I should ask, are they going to broadcast this on Facebook?
Good Lord. Well, best of luck to you, gentlemen, and I'm excited to hear how Thanksgiving goes for everybody.
The clock is ticking, boys.
The clock is freaking ticking, Feldy. Hey, you gotta heads up on this. You gotta arm up on this. Or you're gonna get laid finally.
Finally, I'm a virgin.
I know.
If you had Tilly in that conversation, add him in the competition.
put a Facebook account targeting his wife to see it.
Oh yeah,
it's over. He won 2 days.
It's over. He won 2 days.
No, this is not one of them episodes, huh, boys?
Yeah, all right.
Sure feels like it, yeah.
Is this not how they always go?
No, usually pretty
Oh,
we talk
Oh.
smartly sometimes.
Oh, so this one I'm on.
So let's move. I'm gonna skip over the Kyle Rittenhouse one now because there's not really a whole lot to say there. Let's go straight
Oh,
to
you're scared of DK. I understand. It's okay.
yeah, and you're clearly scared of getting fucking laid.
Ace, can you not talk about our listeners like that? Listen, I know you're the popular guy, but we need them to stick around and support us. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, what if Feldy wins by fucking DK in the ass?
Hey,
Well,
win to
I think we just lost his support. Well, guys.
I could see going into like Ace Hardware or something like that, and they just hand me something off the shelf. Yeah, and good luck on your competition. Hope you get laid.
win. We start seeing the posters up everywhere. People putting them out.
Tate Rome looks at Jace. Thank you, Truman.
I have to kind of wonder, like, because you're used to just seeing certain ads about trying to sell stuff or whatever, and then you scroll by and you see that ads. Like, what's your
Not selling
reaction?
anything.
I mean, initially people probably think you guys are going to have a fight until they read what it is.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think because going through Facebook a lot of times just scroll. You look at stuff for 2 seconds, So I guarantee people see that ad and they're like, "Okay, fight, keep going." Like most people don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
You gotta put a big dildo on there.
Well, maybe I'll just put some more.
Big dildo.
Maybe I'll put some more money on that.
Start a GoFundMe page to pay for
To go fun.
Yeah, where did your Alaskan retirement go? Oh, I had this competition with a friend of mine.
I spent half on that and half on the Oculus. That's where it all went.
Bad investments, man.
I lost 2 in the end. God. Yeah. So do you have a strategy, Feldy?
No, I don't. I haven't even really thought about it. What's
God.
yours?
Oh, well, after I get done running this ad, I think it actually ends maybe tomorrow night. I can go back and look at the data and see who clicked on it and who looked at it. Then I'm going to target those people with another ad of a picture of my dick.
That's actually a good strategy.
Yes, to go to prison. Yes, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, to the prison. Well, it is the Prison City podcast, boys.
Yeah, I'd say if this expires at midnight on Thanksgiving, yeah, Wednesday night's probably your best bet.
Yeah, I'm kind of circling Wednesday night on my calendar.
I can't believe how much time we have dedicated to this particular subject.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one on the docket. The metaverse.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I can't even take this serious anymore.
Thank you, all of you that have stayed with us this long. Thank you, DK. You're our number one fan again.
Yeah, I want to talk about the metaverse here really quick. I did get the Oculus Quest 2. I was like last Tuesday right before the podcast. So now I have like 7 days of using it. Pretty interesting stuff on there. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. So I was trying to, because we were talking about like how realistic it can get and how like, I want to see how realistic shit could actually look in the headset or whatever. So I did some games and shit. And then I was like, well, what's the easiest, most realistic thing? So then I looked up how to do a VR porno.
Of course you did. I'm not surprised at all.
What, within 24 hours of purchase?
I like how that,
Yeah.
you're making an excuse. Like you didn't buy it for that reason.
No, I did. So
They're like on Amazon. People that usually buy the Oculus buy this Chinese dick sucking machine.
It was so interesting. There's these websites, they're called VR porn type websites. So when you put it on, say if you go like pornhub.com or whatever on your Oculus Quest, because there's a web browser inside of it.
Haven't been there.
God,
Tell me more.
Here I was getting ready. I thought this was going to be like, you're telling us how like crazy this thing was and it felt so realistic, and just a hard right turn. Hard right turn.
It's a web
I was getting ready
browser.
to ask like questions like, is it cool? Should I get one? It sounds like you got a different sort of sales pitch.
Well,
So-
I knew it could play games and shit, but now I guess we know all that other stuff too.
Like,
Yeah.
in the right eye, you can have Asians. The left eye, you can have threesome.
I'm rounding the horses to the stable here. It's just taking me a second.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you get there.
So if you go to pornhub.com, you click on like a link, and the picture blows up in your Oculus Quest, and
Nice.
it's like it's like a blown up TV
Are you just doing this on the folks' couch too?
He's like,
They don't know.
better check in on the Monday Night Football score. Oh, this is better.
there's a house full of people.
The problem is like they're not like headphones, so like
He thinks they're plugged in and they're not, so everybody can hear the audio.
well the thing is that the audio kind of is weird, so like people can kind of hear the audio. So like if you're watching it, didn't know people are around, they hear these sex noises coming out of your headset.
Oh, yeah. Trying to eat Thanksgiving dinner. Put it in my ear.
God.
Is that Feldy at the bar?
Somehow this is going to be the #1 podcast. I guarantee. Guarantee it.
It's like my intention was actually to come on here and talk about a bunch of serious topics.
We're gonna skip over the cow right now. We go straight to virtual porn.
The Beaver Feldy is supposed to last like 5 minutes, so I was going to move off the topic. So okay, I'll do it more like this. So if you're watching, you can go to ESPN.com and like play a video or whatever, and get big screen. It's like you're living like in a virtual world watching a big TV screen. It's kind of weird. So if you watch like a regular porno off like a site, it has like a big screen or whatever in front of you. And it's, you know, it's cool, don't get me wrong.
Like you're in your own personal car mic watching porn.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. If you went to a theater and it was completely open and they put on your favorite porno.
Mom's like, Pat, can you clean your room in a second?
Yes, I keep having that image of like you on there and like someone walks in. Like, how do you explain that away? There's no explaining that.
We can watch today. Give me the favorite.
Pat's like, I made my family disappear.
Jesus.
So this is where
I'm not going near his headset. God knows where that's been.
That's the thing that I couldn't quite figure out. I was like, so if you're watching like the porn, like how would you like jack off while watching that? Like, because you're in a virtual world, would you have to get a Japanese dick sucking machine?
You would have the best answers on that.
So let's start talking about the VR porn sites. This is where it gets fucking weird, and it's really weird. Once you put this headset on, things just kind of get weird. And you know, one day you're playing like a Lego game. Next thing you know, your dick's going in someone's ass. Like
the weirdest part about that statement is, why the fuck are you playing a Lego game? He's 40 years old. Yeah, Legos.
It's virtual reality.
Your wildest dreams.
You went
So-
from 5 to 40 in 10 minutes.
So it's like in a virtual reality thing, it's like everything's like fucking real. So these VR pornos are like, they're like fucking real. Like you feel like you're actually fucking there. Like you're like, I mean, you're like fucking something. It's like they're like looking in your face like the girls are and everything. And it got so fucking real that I actually just said, all right, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Well, that's good, man. You know, there's a lot of people that struggle with that out there. So I'm glad you were able to find your way out.
No, I'm not done with porn. I'm just done with VR.
Oh, like just like the VR headset completely, or just that particular genre of the.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm going back to everything. Actually, I'm just done with that particular website.
Oh,
Try a different website.
Just says on the bottom, Jesus left the conversation.
oh, everyone listening, please attend mass at least twice this week. Just
Oh, I thought you were gonna insert your. Everyone, listen, please like and subscribe our podcast.
And it sounds like please go out and buy the Oculus Quest.
That was the wildest experience out of the entire Oculus Quest. I'm not telling people to go get the Quest to go look at porn, but it was so fucking real. It just felt weird. It felt too fucking weird. Like it's hard to describe, like, because your mind thinks it's all real, and it's like you put it on, and you're sitting there and fucking 3 different girls in the ass, and it's just like, God, I don't think I'd last this long in real life.
Maybe if you bring home some not so good looking girl, you could put your Oculus Rift on or Quest.
That might be
Disgusting.
her-
Jace, that's disgusting.
Why?
This is a family show.
As long as she's okay with it.
It's actually,
Unbelievable. Family show.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
it's actually a good idea, Feldy.
I know. Thank you, man.
But then you find out you're fucking your dog in the ass in the middle of the night. Oh, whoops.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, like that's really what you're gonna say. Whoopsies. My mistake.
What I want to talk about the Oculus Quest is have you guys seen the movie Lawnmower Man? Who's seen that movie?
Long time ago.
Never even heard of it.
You guys should fucking watch that because that brings up a lot of my biggest question with Oculus, not just Oculus Quest 2, but these VRs that are really getting, and there's billions of dollars flowing into this, it's so real and stuff, is how does this affect someone's like brain and stuff? Because there's already studies out there right now that says virtual reality, by using people who have Alzheimer's, all these different things, where it improves all their cognitive function, like shoots way up, and they become like a lot more intelligent, XYZ. And the entire film Lawnmower Man is about using virtual reality to improve this like mentally challenged guy's IQ and make him super smart and shit. So if anybody hasn't seen Lawnmower, it's a really, really fucking good movie. And this is where I look at it as like, because in video games, you have a controller and you're like just doing stuff on the screen. But when you're in the actual game doing shit and stuff, it's like, it's way fucking different. It feels like your mind does feel like way different after you unplug from it. Like it's definitely interesting as fuck. When it comes to that aspect of it, is like, how is this actually going to rewire people's brains? Maybe not intelligently in a way, but is it going to completely change, the chemistry of someone's brain overall if they're on these things like all the time? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think. Well, I guess the only thing I have to say about that is virtual reality went to Dave and Buster's down in Salt Lake City, where you actually put the headset on. You can go like to Jurassic Park or something. And yeah, it is crazy, like how you can get lost in the world. Like wherever you look, there's something. You're like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I am somewhere completely different. So I could see how you could do that day to day and just get completely lost in this virtual world, because it's so real.
Yeah. What do you think, Miles?
I think it's interesting if it's good for like elderly people. I think that's a really good use for it. I'm interested. I'm really curious. I think like the entertainment world is going to be, can you feel like I remember from the Zuckerberg's thing, like you feel like you're actually at a concert, and what sort of ramifications does that have? Are they going to start charging people by the minute to like VR into concerts? And did you say something about like you were able to watch a football game or something like in there?
Oh, so we had an improv show Sunday night, and they had VR events in Oculus Quest 2, and you can go to an actual event. But the events I went to so far, it's been like you're watching it from like a balcony, and there's other people there with you and their avatars, and you're watching more like from a balcony that's super close to it or whatever. But they had the stream of the Denver Nuggets game Sunday night at 6 p.m. I could have went to it, but we had our improv show, so I couldn't go to it. But I really wanted to go see how a live sporting event would have looked inside that, because I think that would have been fucking badass.
Where's that at?
It's in the Oculus Quest. It's called VR events.
You gotta go. Okay.
Or Horizon Events is what it's called, and you can attend a live events. And like right now, it's all free because it's all kind of like in beta testing or whatever. But you basically show up virtually these events, like watch UFC live or something like that, and you just hang out with people that are already there virtually.
That's wild.
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to do that, but I'm hoping there will be another opportunity coming up to see like a live sporting event, because I think it'd be really fucking wild. But eventually, like coming what Mike Friesen was talking about the other day is being actually courtside at like a Knicks game or something like that. That wouldn't be free. You'd have to pay something to be virtually courtside at the game.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay for sure. You're gonna have to pay to play.
They might give it to you for free to begin with, but or discounted. But eventually, it's going to be like, yeah.
Are the graphics any good on the games, or can you tell like this is a new type of thing?
It depends on the game. And this is kind of, I mentioned this to Kelly last night as we were driving back from Helena, and some of it's so fucking bizarre. It's so fucking realistic. Like, so say like you have like a shooter game, like I was saying Call of Duty is actually Medal of Honor, and on your computer or your console, whatever, you press buttons and automatic reloads, you hit reload and just shoot or fire. In Call of Duty, I've struggled like bad, the virtual Call of Duty, because I have to take the gun, actually load the fucking bolts into it, cock it back, then target it and shoot it. Then when it's done, take the bullets, the magazine out, pick up another mag, put it in. Like it teaches you how to shoot a fucking gun. Like it doesn't leave any part of that sequence out. It has a full fucking sequence in there. And it's teaching you combat. It's weird. It's really fucking weird.
So do you think they'll have more movies like Hardcore Henry where you watch it and you're like that person from their point of view?
Is that what
Hardcore Henry movies like that? Hardcore Henry like filmed from that guy's point of view. The main actor.
I haven't experimented. They do have some shows like that. They have some cool stuff like one of the things I did last week is they had the Diary of Anne Frank. They have her entire house set up. You can walk through it. It's kind of cool. Where they're not their house, but their little area they're set up there or whatever. The graphics on some of the games like called Medal of Honor is pretty cool. It still looks like a video game or whatever, and you can still do some video game type stuff. But then there's one called Thumper. And Thumper is just really badass. It's Thumper. I wanted to look for a game that was most like the virtual reality game off of Lawnmower Man, which is kind of hard to simulate that exactly. But Thumper, you're like flying down this track and you have to dodge these things and shoot these things and jump up and down. It's like a speed. It's like it's the game's so fucking wild. It's so fucking cool. But like I could see myself playing that, and then later on, your abilities to cognitively register things faster and faster. Sometimes I feel like that after I get done playing some of these games because you're like right in this fucking game trying to do these things. So I think cognitive ability wise, it definitely has an impact where you can some of these games I think it has an impact where you can honestly improve your cognitive abilities by playing these fucking games and shit. It's interesting because the things you learn if you virtually in a virtual video game, if you do every single thing it takes to cock a gun, aim it, fire it, then the common sense will tell you you're probably going to be able to do that in the real world if it doesn't skip a step.
You say there's a Blair Witch one?
There's a Blair Witch one. The last thing I'll say before that is they even have games where I haven't seen yet, but this is part of the metaverse where you can put together like a carburetor on a car and stuff. So you can learn to do all these things in the metaverse. It's pretty wild. There's there's a lot of scary ones actually out there. They're not all violent or whatever. Now, one of them, they have a Blair Witch virtual reality and they have a Paranormal Activity virtual reality. It's pretty cool. I haven't tried out those ones yet. Yeah, but Blair Witch looks pretty sweet. I
want to come over and try it.
You should take. It takes a little while to learn the headset and how to like move around and stuff in your stuff. And then the other part is starting out, I could only go about 30 minutes and I'd start getting a little bit dizzy or whatever, and I had to just like take a long break from using it. But now it seems like I still only go about 20 or 30 minutes, but it feels like I could go like a lot longer after using it for a while. Yeah. And it's so cool though, Feldy, and you're playing Thumper, you're shooting all these things, and all of a sudden this big fucking ad pops up for Feldy versus Pat to get laid first.
Let's swing back to that. Another hour.
Hey, circle the analysis into the that poster the rest of the show. So yeah, that's kind of my metaverse thing. I think the cognitive function of it on how it's going to affect people's minds and stuff is going to be really interesting. I can see Jesus.
Mute your goddamn mic.
So anyways, let's get to Thanksgiving topics that don't relate to Pat versus Feldy getting laid. We have the
Pat, sorry, I just had one thing before we get off the metaverse there.
Yeah.
So you've explored it probably more than any of us, and you say, yeah, it could increase your cognitive function and whatnot, but there's got to be a lot of pros and cons, that people see on it. So have you noticed any, besides getting a little dizzy, have you noticed any cons, or, are you concerned about like mind control and shit, like some people say? Because they're controlling what you see,
Yeah, I think there's has to be a concern there because, yeah, like I said, the Lawnmower Man photo that I sent this morning, it talked about mind control. You should watch that tonight.
I want to.
You should. It's the concept of it. It's a really good movie, actually. It's still good today. It's a timeless, that's the downside is kind of some of that stuff, but the mind control stuff. But it's kind of fucking weird. Also, like the first week playing it or whatever, I went to bed and I've done, there's this one called Trip. It's like a meditation type one. It takes you on this different world stuff. It's really fucking cool. I really like it. Actually helps you focus and stuff like that. But there's a lot where you're putting stuff together. I went to bed at night and then I've had dreams where I was dreaming in virtual reality. It was really fucking weird. Like I was in the virtual reality game in my dreams for several nights in a row.
Wow.
I personally feel the effects of it for sure. You know, I can't conclusively state anything like, you know, I'm turning into the mark of the beast, like Mike Freeze might say, but
Yeah, we live in a fucking weird time. I was just thinking yesterday about how we were all born in the 80s and everything, and you grow up and it's just like the world has changed so dramatically just in our lives, you know, when it didn't seem to change that much with technology and things much before us. Yeah, a little bit here and there, but compared to like when we were born to now, it's just like it's on fucking hyper speed, you know, with where we're going.
The more technology is like it multiplies, you know, kind of like the population away in some ways, you know, once you get more and more technology, the more and more capabilities to do things, it's like the abilities just multiply faster and faster and faster. And mind control and all these different things you talk about, yeah, there's that's all relevant stuff. But in my perspective is that this is not going to be any different than Facebook. You know, I put comments on my personal one. I've had a lot of people go on there and just be like, well, I'm never going to get in that. And you know, I'm never going to do that. You know, the people saying that are the same people that said they'd never go on Facebook. Now,
Right.
once everybody's on that, you're going to be fucking on it. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It does already have kind of an addicting type feel to it where you definitely want to keep going and going and going in it, you know, to some degree, but also I like to take breaks from it. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I've noticed a lot of things with it. When you first start using it initially, it's really, really fucking interesting. And you get used to it over time, you know. But I think the biggest thing, Facebook and you know, people live their lives through whether it be Facebook or their TV sets. It's not different than in that sense that people have been living their lives through their TV set for a long time now in America. Our grandparents all fucking watch TV all day. You know, my parents pretty much watch TV whenever they're retired or whatever. So people are already living their lives through TV sets. Then you got your phones and people living their lives through their phones. This is honestly that same concept. It's taken it to this whole other fucking level where this is where I think the biggest downside is in the metaverse. Eventually you're going to be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do, like anything. So it's that just kind of makes things really kind of fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just think of
fucking weird.
I just think back to, I mentioned concerts, like trying to imagine 20 years down the line, like someone goes out to perform this concert instead of a sold out show. It's just a bunch of like cameras with people, you know, they can't even see a crowd, but it's all these people like logged into their Oculus going to the show.
And that's the thing, like say, especially during like COVID, they couldn't do any live shows or whatever. Well, if this stuff was up to par and everything, can you imagine like the amount of people that would have paid like, you know, seriously, like $20 to be in the metaverse at a concert live with all the, and you're by putting your headset on, you're basically fucking there, you know?
It's crazy. And you don't have to pay $20 for a whatever crappy IPA they're pouring.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to worry about driving there and do whatever. I mean, it does make sense in a way, but man, I mean, it'd be tough to overcome the actual thought of, man, I was actually there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I just like being around people. I think there's always going to be that. That's human nature. People want to be around other people.
Because actually, Twilight Zone episode's interesting. They have that fake robot to get to the guy that's in prison, and then at the end, they're like, "Okay, it's time. He's on a planet or whatever that's uninhabited." At the end, he's finally like, they're trying to pick him up and leave. He's like, "Well, I got to take my partner here, Sally, who's a robot," and they're like, "No, you got to leave her here." It's like, "I can't leave her here. We're friends or whatever." He starts to believe she's real over time. So like the metaverse could have that type of impact where things that aren't necessarily real, you start to believe real. The other part though, that I kind of question is like, what I'm thinking down the road, I'm not talking like the next year or two. I'm talking like down the road. Like what kind of impact is this going to have on like the travel industry where I don't have to fucking fly anywhere to meet in person. I can meet in person in the metaverse. Like when Mark Zuckerberg talks about immersion, I think Mahomes kind of says this all the time when we talk about like how people are fucking idiots on Facebook. It's so bad and everything. Things that you would comment on Facebook or talk about on Facebook, you wouldn't say to someone's fucking face, right? So when you're in the metaverse, you're pretty much talking to someone and you can see their expressions and everything. So it's like eventually, this is what's gonna be. You can see exactly how they're moving and everything. So it's way more immersive in communicating to someone than it would be like Facebook.
Yeah. It's a little bit scary to me. I'm 36 years old, but like to my stepson Tanner, he's grown up on kind of this shit. To them, it's just like us playing Sega Genesis or whatever, and then moving into Facebook and all that. You're right. Right this second, I'm like, yeah, to play like Madden or something is really fucking cool, and the effects are getting so crazy, but still, it doesn't compare to like, driving out to Seattle or Denver or whatever and walking up and going to that bar and eating some nachos and then going to the fucking game and watching it live. It doesn't compare in my mind, but it's scary that one day it could. And it's really, to us, it's really just fucking fake,
Yeah.
I'll go fuck myself.
I guess the only topic people want to talk about is Pat versus Feldy getting laid. No, I agree. Like that actual physical experience, it's hard to replicate that until they find ways to replicate that in the metaverse where you can smell and feel everything like you're just fucking there. And then it's like all games are off the table.
Well, the craziest things we've talked about a little bit, we might already be in a metaverse. Like we might be wearing goggles somewhere else, or maybe do you ever think about like we put on our 80th pair of goggles or whatever, and reality doesn't even exist to us? I mean, I know that sounds weird, but this is so real. Reality is real to us. What if this is literally just a pair of goggles from Facebook on some other fucking planet where whoever you are is there? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Well, here's how that. There's technology they've shown where they can put neurons and stuff, these connectors onto your fucking head or whatever that will simulate senses and all these things. You can move shit with your fucking mind. So like there's enough technology when you're looking at the future to where things are getting so advanced that you will be able to like lay down and not have a mask or anything and just transport yourself into this virtual environment. So the idea that the Matrix portrays, like in those like tubes and everything, that's not something that's far-fetched anymore, I think, for anybody, I would say.
That's so creepy to think about. Like right now, whoever you are could be lying in a bed somewhere with all these things coming out of your head, and that's what creates this reality that we have. And this reality is pretty fucking cool. So maybe the next one will be equally as cool. That's just a really creepy concept in my head.
I think what adds to the concept is that the law of attraction. If you really read books on that, you attract what you want in this world, and a lot of times, it doesn't happen overnight for anybody except be just insanity. But you literally focus on something you really want and just focus on that constantly. You eventually get it. Like if we were in like a limited, non-simulated world, wouldn't there be like limitations of that, or like you couldn't just get whatever you want eventually? But and the reality,
Total Recall, right?
Yeah.
You guys have seen the movie Total Recall. What if when you die here, just go another level? What if when you die, you just wake up in that bed and they pull the things off and they're like, "How was it?" You're like, "Oh my god." Back like, oh yeah, I went into this thing. Remember the Black Mirror? Anybody see it where they put you into the metaverse for like half a second and it's this real, like a full life? And they wake up and they're like, yeah, this guy, you were in there for half a second. You lasted half a second.
Really? I gotta look at that one up. I've never seen that one. What one stopped me? The Black Mirrors that I watched, I was trying to go through the whole season. The ones I only watched like one or two ones that were good, and the other ones are kind of dumb. But I guess I'll have to look at that one though. But yeah, I think it's interesting as fuck.
It is. It's interesting, and it's like it's creepy to Kelly's point. It's also like, I don't know. You can see the good and bad. I'm not, and it's you can get as deep as you want talking about like everything that could be out there. Who knew the Matrix was this far ahead of their time though? Like,
there's I mean, again, there's a lot of movies that are starting to come true, like Lawnmower Man. I thought virtual reality, in my sense, the way I looked at virtual reality, I thought it was going to come along way earlier, way faster, and way that it took this long. But now I don't think anybody saw the concept of virtual reality being like entering into another Matrix. I don't think anybody saw that concept coming.
No. And Demolition Man too.
Except for the Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, the Demolition Man too. How the world's gotten so fucking sensitive. So you're gonna have a box behind you every time you say "fuck." It's gonna print out a little slip, finding you 50 cents or whatever.
I like
Feldy.
how Mahomes. I like how we can come across any fucking technological advancement possible you can imagine, except for flying cars. Why is that so hard?
I don't know. It would. And who knows, maybe like it's out there and they're just like, no, traffic in the sky would kill way more people than traffic on the ground. Let's keep these idiots on the ground.
Well, they got the technology is out there. I mean, you got the airplanes, rockets, everything, And people are. I watched this video where this 70-year-old guy created his own plane and he flew up in the sky like a fucking Pixar movie. I was like, oh my God, is this guy gonna crash? So the technology is there. So
I was actually going to say, yeah, there's actually a company in California that's you can put some money down right now to get one of the initial versions of their flying car, actually.
Yeah, but how they're getting around like being called a plane or whatever to get around those aviation rules is you have to put like 30% of it together yourself. And I'm not putting together a plane and myself and then flying it. Not a fucking chance.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so fucking crazy.
All right, let's how the horses feeling.
Let's round these horses up, folks. This has been an interesting episode. Make sure to check out The Lawnmower Man. I watched it before I got here. I'm gonna watch some more of it tonight. It's a really good movie. But yeah, coming up, got the Turkey Trot Dosford Improv Show. We're gonna go back on the comedy stage here. Wednesday night Turkey Trot Improv at Cutler Brothers Theater, gonna be a lot of fun. I'd also say that Dr. Fauci came out and said, if you're vaccinated, you can have a maskless Thanksgiving. If not, yeah, better mask up. I also say that one of my kids actually just got tested positive for COVID. So my first words to them were, I was like, well, at least it's not something serious. So at least it's not spinal cancer. So anyways, here we go, folks.
You couldn't just leave well enough alone, could you? You just had to.
If there's anybody still watching this episode at this point,
oh, it would be a miracle. Hey, Mike Freeze, how you doing, man? Things are going well.
Yeah, let's bring Mike Freeze on to top it off.
Yeah, it's not how I saw this show going. Wasn't a lack of topics. It was just one topic really had a lot of vibe to it.
Yeah, honestly, way more than I expected. I wasn't really sure where we were going here either, but
yeah,
that's showbiz.
All right, so let's go through here on our final statements. Everybody can give a final statement of what they are thankful for this Thanksgiving season, starting with Jace Feldy.
Oh, Jesus. I'm just.
Oh, you're thankful for Jesus? Good for you.
Jesus. Well, I just can't think.
You're thankful that you're thankful
for nothing.
Are you thankful like a sex ad got approved to get you laid for this Thanksgiving?
It's not working. So no.
It's not working.
Hey, what time is it right now? So we got 3 days and 2 hours. Come on.
Okay. Well, if anybody's out there, look me up on Instagram.
Oh, geez,
you say all the guys out there?
Oh, well, I don't care.
So it could be a guy or a girl, doesn't really matter. Whatever, floats your boat.
Whatever gets me the dub.
Expect a little bit more enthusiasm there, maybe. Maybe that'll help you out. Matt, what's your final statement on giving thanks, or I don't know?
I don't know either, man. I just want to save my last point on the metaverse. Like if they had a way where you could just, they might already do, where you can be like a bystander on the Titanic and do whatever you want, and watch the ship sink. I'd be all for it. Stuff I think you could learn a lot from the history of just like experiencing that as best you can in virtual reality. But
there actually is a VR game for the Titanic, but it's not what it's like one of the other virtual reality ones. It's not with the Oculus Quest 2, but I saw a VR for it. I don't know what it's about though, but that would be shit like that's what they're going to try to do is like make shit like that. How fast can they make these environments though is my biggest question, because you're going to need, I think that's what Zuckerberg's trying to introduce. You're going to need a lot of fucking developers to work on these projects to speed track, like making all these different real life atmospheres. It's going to take a lot of work by a lot of people. Yeah, Kelly, what's your final statement on tonight's episode? Anything you're thankful for this Thanksgiving?
I just wake up every day and try to be grateful every morning for everything that we got, because you get older and your days seem to get shorter and shorter. I don't know if it's because you're so busy or you have families or whatnot, but yeah, every day just seems like it just passes by as quickly as possible. So I try to enjoy like all of the small things. And you got to remember that we're all trying to make money and things like that. But at the end of the day, you really just got to fucking enjoy every moment of it. Walking outside, enjoying the brisk air, the sun, whatever it might be. And it sounds dumb, but it really, those small things are going to add up in the end. And, going back to the beginning with Scott Grazier, it's like you got these people in your life and you think, oh yeah, they're there and they got their own personality and they're really fucking funny or quirky or cool or whatever. But you really need to start appreciating those small things, because you know how short life is. And I think I gave my 2 cents on the metaverse. It's a fucked up thing to think about, but wake up and be grateful and stop worrying about so much stupid shit that doesn't matter, because nothing really fucking matters. When it's all said and done, nothing really matters.
Yeah, I've always looked at that. I don't know if you're supposed to take that as a positively or negatively, but you should take it more like I can do anything I want to. If it doesn't, we don't know what we're doing here. We don't know where we got here. We don't know where we're going. So why not just do whatever the fuck you want, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And if we are in the metaverse, right now, enjoy it. It's like, this life is pretty fucking crazy. Like Mahoney said it before, the food we eat, the beers we drink, the people we come, into friendships with or whatever.
The women we fuck.
Yeah. Enjoy every minute, every second of it, because it's so, like, this life is so fucking good. So, especially where we're at in Montana in the United States, like, just enjoy every moment of it.
Yeah. Mahone, your final statement?
Yeah, thankful. I'll echo a lot of what Kelly said. Family, friends. Fortunate to have married into a good family as well. Got a good job down here in Nebraska, home. Somehow I convinced a girl to marry me, and she hasn't left yet. And I think that's somewhat of a miracle, because I can be kind of a pain in the ass to be around sometimes. Healthy, happy kid. Life is good, man. It's when you let yourself get sucked down that hole, like I've talked about before, you can find the bad if you want to look for it, but look for the good, and you'll find it.
Yeah, Jace.
Well,
I'm thankful for a single fucking thing.
I'm not gonna find it here.
You have a fucking ad going on you on Instagram to get laid. You're not thankful for that?
No.
Jesus.
It's not working.
Well, I'm gonna test my luck and see if it works. But that wraps up episode 37. I'm thankful for the fact, and one of the things that Mahomes brought up is, it was a pretty good point in this episode. I never thought about it. I actually came to realization that I was able to get a sex ad approved for Instagram. That's kind of a big accomplishment in my life. I don't think many people can say they've been able to do that, right?
Well, it's going to be on your tombstone.
Got a sex ad approved.
Yes.
Thanksgiving 2021.
It'll just be Pat's tombstone with Jace's right next to it. Who gets laid first?
and Grazier's close by. Jeez.
Somehow he wins.
Hey, that joke's fucking hurting my spine right now. No. Okay. That's the episode.